Okay, so here is the official document for Azure policies. Easily apply guardrails to your all your resources. Means it's reduce the time needed to audit your environments by having all your compliance data in a single place. Means it's store your compliance data into Azure policies, set guardrails throughout your resources to help ensure cloud compliance. Means it is useful for the company compliance and governance. It avoids misconfigurations and practice consistent resources governance, and also reduce the number of external approval process by implementing policies at core of the Azure platform for increased developer productivity, control, and on-premises your cloud spend to get more value from investment. Means uh, if I am talking about the practical value, okay, so you can apply policies on the subscription or the resources group. Means if you want to, suppose here is your Azure policy, okay, and you can apply it to the subscription level scope and the group level, and also for the user base or the resources base. Okay, so after applying this, if you want to if you want to uh, suppose I want to make only a single type of machine. Suppose I want to uh, launch only a single type of machine. I don't want to that anyone not launch any type of machine into my company account. So everyone use same type of machines or the same type of storage account for my company. So it's also reduce my cost. Okay, let me explain it more. So in policy, if I write in policies, if I write the location, okay, location means everyone will be used that location for use the resources. Okay, no one can use other location to use the resources. Okay, so all users will be have a limit to use resources only on a single location. Okay, if we apply it to the machines or the virtual machines, okay, so they are only able to launch a single type of machine or which is a more compliance to the company. Okay, suppose any if i if I provide an account to Sandeep to create an instance into my company, okay, and Sandeep launch a big instance into my company which is not required for the particular application. Okay, so what the things effect on me, so the billing is effect to me. Okay, that's why I create a limit on their particular location or the region or the resources group. So I can put a limit through the Azure policy that Sandeep is only able to use the Linux instance, or Sandeep is only able to use the 1 GB instances into their resources. Got it? Is it clear, Sandeep and Mahi? Okay. 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 I am joining. Okay. Let me accept it. Okay. You are joining from the laptop. Okay. Now it's join. Okay, so this is an example of Azure policies. Uh, if you want to make a limit on your resources or the users or the subscription level, so that you you will be tracked your non-compliance thing at a single place. Okay, it is similarly uh, let's take another example, not related to the Azure. Uh, suppose I have a uh, suppose I have an internet connection. Okay, it is it is 200 mbps. Okay, and my company my company realized that I don't require the 200 mbps connection. Akshay required only the 10 mbps connection for his work. So it's apply policy to me that Akshay is only able to use the 10 mbps bandwidth on their usages. Okay, so it's apply policy to me. It is similar to that into the Azure, that a policy is applied to the subscription level or the resources group or the resources or the location basis, that you are able to use only a particular resources into their account. Okay, so you can track the uncompliant things at a single place. Is it clear? Okay. Okay, so now come to the official document of the Azure uh, policies. Okay, here is the official document. As you can see, Azure policy. Azure policy help to enforce organizational standard and assess compliance at scale. Through its compliance dashboard, it's provide a aggregated view of evaluate the overall state of the environment with the ability to drill down to as per resource per policy granularity. It's also help to bring your resources to compliance through bulk remediation for existing resources and automatic remediation for new resources. Common use case for Azure policy include implementing governance for resource consistency, regulatory compliance, security cost, and management. Policy definition of these common use cases are already available in your Azure environment as built-ins to help you get started. Okay, so Azure policies always into the JSON format. Okay, you can write your own policy definition. Okay, Azure policies known as the policy definition or policy initiative. Okay, so I will let you know what is policy definitions and what is policy in initiative. Okay, so initiative is called a group of policies. It is a group of policy definition. Or it is a group of policy sets. Okay. Once your business rules have formed, the policy definition or initiative is assigned to any scope. Scope means your any resource group or the location wise or the resources or the management group, subscription resource group or the individual resources. This assignment apply to all resources within the resource manager scope. Means your Azure portal of that assignment. Subscope can be excluded if necessary. Okay, so we can exclude the things what we not required into the compliance thing. Okay, uh, Okay, I will let you know into the Azure panel. Okay, so let's discuss about the what is Azure policies and RBAC. Some little difference between. Okay, so there are few key difference between Azure policy and Azure role-based access control. Azure policy evaluate state by examining properties on resources data represent in resource manager and properties of some resources provider. Azure policy does not restrict action, also called operations. Azure policy ensure that resources is compliant to your business rules with concern who made the changes, who has permission to make the changes. Some policy resources such as policy definition, initiative definition, and assignment are visible to all user. The design enable transparency to all user and services for what policy rules are set in their environment. Okay. For Azure RBAC, focus on managing user action at different scope. If control of an action is required, then RBAC is the correct tool to use. Even if an individual has access to perform an action, if the result is non-compliant resources, Azure policy is still block or create or update. Okay, so let's go to the Azure portal and see the things into. Okay, so if I write here Azure policy, yes, you can see policies here. Okay, so it's okay. This is the by default one is created for your only for the viewing. What the things it's look like. It shows your process overall resources of compliance, resources by compliance state. Okay, non-compliance initiatives and also non-compliant policies. Okay, so we have 25 policies right now, and if I click on that, this is only the default one. Okay, so these are the definition, and these are the some samples available into the Azure cloud. Okay, so let's go back to the policy homepage, and we have also some if we talking about the definition. Okay, so policy definition, it is a JSON file. Okay, used to describe business rules to control access to the resources for the business purposes or for the billing purposes, or we can set a limit to the users. Okay, so if I choose, there are two types of Azure policies. Okay, Azure policy definition, there are two types: policy definition and initiative definition. Okay, policy definition, as I already said, it is a JSON file used to describe business rules to control access to the resources. Okay, and for the initiative definition, it is a group of policy definition. Means we can use multiple policy definitions into initiative definition. We can use or customize our initiative policy definition through the initiative definition. Okay, so suppose if I want to add a policy here. Okay, I'm just going to click on the policy definition. Here I need to select the location. Okay, location is mandatory and also the name is mandatory. So first, let me select the definition location. If I click on that, pay as you go. First, I have to select my subscription, pay as you go. Okay, now I have to select this one. Yes, pay as you go subscription is selected. Now I have to give the name of the policy, policy 1 for VM. I created for the VM only. Okay, right now I'm going to create it for VM. Policy 1 VM. Category category new. Okay, I can select the category. Suppose it is only for the IT team. Okay, and we can also set the policy definition from here. Let me check it. We have some another different portal right now. Okay, if we know that the JSON format or the JSON code, we can write it ourselves. Okay, if we don't know these things, okay, we can select from the template. So where is the template? Let's go back and select the templates one. Okay, so if you know the JSON file format, or you have some own code, you have some own policies, you can and paste it here your code. Okay, and now I'm going to select the template policy from the templates. Let's go back to the policy. Yes, and let me select the policy from the compute categories. Let me select the compute only. Compute. Yes, this one is compute. Okay, okay, so as you can see, audit VM does that do not use the managed disk. Okay, and you can audit it via here, or you can check the VMs that who don't have the managed disk or who does not use the managed disk. Okay, everything is in the policy. So let me check once again. Managed disk should be disabled, public network access or the disaster recovery. Only approved VM extension should be installed. Allow virtual machines SQs. Okay, so let me select this one. Okay, SQs means user only able to use the particular VM sizes. As I discussed into my example, that uh, I am going to set a policy that I only use a particular VM sizes into my Azure account. Okay, and I can set uh, it's per the location or the per the subscription level or the resource level. Okay, so let me select this one. So I'm going to use only a only a selected type of VM size. So let's select this and click on the assign. Here is the option assign, or I can also copy this code. Okay, and if I have to make changes into that, then I can uh, edit it or the changes into this. So this policy enable you to specify a set of virtual machine size keys that your organization can deploy. Okay, so let's assign this. Now we have to select the scope. Okay, so scope is maybe the subscription or the location or the resource group. Okay, so I have to select the pay as you go. Okay, now I want the cloud team resource group only able to use the particular VM sizes. Okay. Did you understand, Sandeep? Okay. So now I am going to uh, select the cloud team that it is uh, that it is able to only use a particular VM sizes. Okay, it is optionally. If you not select the resource group, it will apply to all resource group. It is apply on the subscription level. Means all resources group will be affected from this policies. Okay, so suppose if I not select, okay, if I not select anyone, it will apply to all other, all resources group. Okay, and let's select now exclusion. If I want that a particular team, if I want a particular resource exclude from this policy, means this a policy not applicable to the exclusion, means the exclusion. If I select the scope here, means suppose I am going to select the new company one. Okay, so new company group can create any policies into their account. Yeah, sorry. Suppose if I am selecting the new company, okay, so new company group can create any sizes of VM instance into the Azure cloud. Okay, this policy is not applicable to the new company. If I am selecting another one, VM group 2, so this policy is not apply on these two groups. Is it clear? Now resources group select. Now I can also select the resources here. Okay, but right now I'm going to only select the resource group. Okay, now click on the save. uh, Let me write down the let me write down the resource group here. I select company one, new company one, and give me a minute, let me write down new company one and VM hyphen group, VM1 hyphen. Okay, so these are the two resource group. Policy is not applicable to on this groups. Okay, so let select and save. Do you want to keep the selected item into the drop down controls? Yes. Okay, two exclusion is selected. Now policy definition is already selected, that I am going to allowed virtual machine excuses. Okay, assignment name you can set as default. Okay, now policy enable. Okay, so let's click the next. Here are the parameters. Okay, parameter means you have to enter your policy values. Okay, so if I am going to uh, set the policies for the allowed VM size SQs, so I have to select the parameters what the VM sizes actually uh, launched, what the limits they have. So if I'm going to set the limits onto the, they are only able to use the other thing, let me choose the another one. Let me see the VM sizes into another tab. Okay, so let me just only see me the VM sizes. Okay, if I'm going to this and DS1, suppose I want to that everyone can use DS1 V2. Okay, suppose everyone DS1 V2. Suppose uh, I set a policy that everyone can use DS only DS1 V2 standard instance. Okay, So I select DS1 V2. DS1 V2, this one. Okay. Now DS1 V2 is selected. Okay. Now click on the next. I can also create the management identity here. Okay. Or it's also applied on the existing user identity. Okay. Now click on the next. Non-compliance message that uh, I can set any non-compliances message for the non-compliances resources. Okay. So if I set that they are right now, I am going to left this. Okay. Now click on the next and review and create. So it will take, as you can see here, as you can see here, let me check it. Azure policy assignment allowed virtual machine SKU in PSG Go was successful. Please note that the assignment takes around 30 minutes to take effect. Okay, so it's take 30 minutes to make effect into your account. Okay, suppose I'm going to go back to the policy. Policy is successfully assigned, but it's take 30 minutes. As you can see, virtual machine SQS. Okay, it's assigned and type policy. So it's take around 30 minutes. Let's go to the overview first. Okay, so it is not started right now, but it's take approx minimum 20 to 30 minutes to apply fully. Okay. And now let's go back to the other thing. Okay, so it's take time to apply. Now let's describe the policy definition. Sorry, initiative definition. Okay, so here in this initiative definition, you can select the policies, multiple policies. Give me a minute. Let me put the call. Okay, so now come to the initiative definition. So initiative definition is a collection of policy definition. Okay, we can select the multiple policies into the initiative definition. Okay, that are tolerated towards achieving a singular overarching goal. Initiative definition simplify managing and assigning. Policy definition by group them as a single assignable object. Okay, so you can assign multiple policies to uh, multiple groups or resource level or the subscription level. Okay, suppose if I give the name, the policy name is here. Suppose group another policy too, and I can also uh, define the version. Suppose this one is version 1, and now next. Now I have to add the policy definitions here. Okay, so now I have to I can select multiple policy definitions here. If I click on that add policy definition, then I can select. Suppose I want to select for the storage account and for the VMAs. Okay, so right now I'm going to into the storage. Okay, I can select the policy as per my requirement. That if I want to select this one, Linux machine should meet requirement for the Azure compute security baselines. Okay, and also you can check any description into that. And suppose right now I'm going to select these two for just only for the example. Okay, so multiple policies applies to my a single policy definition. Okay, and I can also create a group for here. Suppose I am going to create a group for here, and with the users I can use them. Okay, uh, group one parameter, I can select the parameters here, display name, string वगैरह. Yes, you can select as per my requirement, but not now. Okay, so we have a infra like that, so that we use in that. Okay, now I'm going to discard this one. I'm just only showing you how the initiative definition work. We can select multiple policies into this one. Okay, is it clear, Sandeep and Ghosh? Okay. Okay, so let's go to the notification. It is not applied right now. It's take some time. We can select the type of the initiative parameter. We can select as per by our requirement, but sometimes it's maybe not required, because if you are a policy editor, you can edit it, or if you know the codes, so you can uh, you can import your own code here. And if I select the same, and if I go to the policy parameter, I can select policy parameter by the default value or the other thing. Okay, so I can select the true or false or use initiative parameters here. Okay, so there is no item available. Now review and create. Okay, so right now I'm not selecting any parameter into the initiative. Okay, by this you can create your initiative definitions. Now I'm going to cancel this one and not apply it to anyone. Okay. So we will only see the policy definition. Okay, what is exactly and it is work for us or not. So let's wait for the things policy applies on my account. It's it's take some time. If I go to the overview and you can see policy is not started yet. We should wait for the this. Okay, it takes around 20 to 30 minutes more. Okay, so as you can see, policy is successfully started and it's compliant. Okay, it is now started and applicable to all my resources. Now cross check with the Azure portal or create a VMs that I am able to uh, create any size of machine or not. Okay, so policy is that allowed virtual machine size SQ. I set a limit for that I am only able to use the DS1v2 instances. Okay, let's go to the home section and create a resource here, Windows Server. Okay, if I am selecting here any group, any resource group, excluded from these two. Okay, right now I'm not going to launch any resource into these two group, but any of these group. Okay. If I give the name like Azure machine, okay, and I'm not able to select the images. As you can see, I have only the particular instance size. Is it clear, Sandeep and Vahin? Okay, so I'm only able to select a particular size. Okay, if I select another group, suppose I select branch one, okay, then policy also applicable on this. Okay, you can see item availability based on the policy assignment that the selected scope allowed virtual machine. Okay, and if I select the excluded resource group which is not into the policy, if I select the new company one, then you can see the effect. New company one, let me check. Yes, it is the new company. Sorry, this one, new company. Okay, if I select this one, so you can see I am able to select any of the instance images. Is it clear? Okay. And if I select another one which is also excluded VM1 group, then I only able to select any of the instances. Okay. And if I select any of that group, rest of the two, if I select any of the group like my first Linux VM group, then policy that applies to that group, because let's go back to the policies. Okay, and then select this one. Okay, and if I select the assignment, and you can see exclusion is here. Okay, you can see the resource two excluded groups is here. Suppose I want to uh, make different size machine into another group. Suppose I want to make a different, I want to remove the limit from the cloud team. Okay, suppose I want to remove the limit from the cloud team. Okay, so right now I am only able to do the single size of machine. Okay, I'm not choose anyone, but if I want that cloud team resource group can use uh, any size of instances here, so I can add into the exclusion. Okay, suppose I use this one and remove these two group. Okay, now save this. Yes, and now review. There are total three. Let me check once again. Yes, this one and this one. Okay, now cloud team is selected for the exclusion, and now save. So okay, so it takes around 30 minutes to take effect. Okay, after 30 minutes, after the SQ time is after the time is completed, okay, the policy applied to that group, that the cloud team can use anyone, any instances in that. Okay, is it clear? Okay. Okay, so we have to wait for at least 10 to 30 minutes for complete apply for the policies. Okay, so it's take some time. If I select this one, then I am only able to choose any of the machines. And if I select another group, then I have policies applied to that, and I'm not able to select any of the instances. Okay, so it is also beneficial for the company because people are using so much big instances, and the other thing which is not required to that project or not suitable for that project. So that's why policy is more important to our account or our company, uh, to track them, to track the non-compliance things. Okay, uh, so so we can manage standard into a company. Okay, so we can track a standard policy through on the company. We can. Yes, is it clear? Okay, any questions or doubts? Okay. Okay, so tomorrow we will see the ARM template one. Okay, we already work on the ARM template and the portal for just only the overviewing these things, and for the PowerShell and CLI we uh, start creating the machines and resources through the PowerShell and CLI and the ARM templates. Okay,